Nearly half of Americans say finances or lack thereof is taking a toll on their mental health. Let's dive into it. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I have a serious subject I want to talk to you guys today about. Guys, I want to talk to you about finances or lack thereof and mental health. So I came across an article that I want to share my thoughts on it. About half of U.S. adults are struggling with their mental health because of their financial situation. 47% of adults say concerns about money have, at least on occasion, caused anxiety, stress, worrisome nights, loss of sleep, depression. About 65% of Americans say their biggest concern is inflation and rising prices. And nearly 60% of Americans say their stress derives from paying for everyday expenses such as groceries and utilities. About 56% of Americans say they are worried about having enough money for emergency savings, and 47% are mostly concerned about being in debt. More than a third of U.S. households have more credit card debt than emergency savings alone. Guys, that's not good. Having more credit card debt than you have in savings. That is a recipe for disaster. Guys, I just want to say, I want to take you guys back into time when I was just in a bad state of mental health with my finances. And just walk with me real quick. I won't keep you guys long. It goes back to 2007 when my dad passed away. My dad passed away in 2007 of lung cancer. When he was going through his lung cancer, going through treatments, my wife one day was going down. He lived an hour from me. My wife was driving my truck at the time, back in 2007, to take him to his chemo appointment. And as she was driving down there, guys, to another town to take my dad to chemo, my truck broke down. And I didn't have the money to get my truck fixed. Because at this time, we were so broke, I couldn't see straight. At this time, I was in debt with child support, having to pay arrears in child support, plus my current obligation because of stupidity when I was younger. I owed the IRS money, so I was getting hit pretty hard. I was making about $50,000 a year, guys, and I was bringing home about $1,000 a month. All I could do at that point in time was help my wife pay bills. That was it, because I wasn't contributing very much to the household at that time in 2007. Guys, there was times I would come home from work and I would want to just cry because I put us in that situation because of past bad decisions I made, changing jobs, not informing the child support agency of my new job, and getting further and further behind, not paying my taxes. And it all caught up to me, and it all came to a head to where I owed all this money. And yeah, making about $50,000 a year back in 2007, and all I was bringing home was $1,000 a month after IRS payments and child support and back child support. That was probably the darkest time in my life financially. And then my truck breaks down while my wife is trying to take my dad to chemo, and I had no money to even get my truck fixed. Luckily, I had a friend of mine who was an auto mechanic by trade, and he was able to fix my truck for really cheap. All I had to do was buy the part. He didn't charge me very much. But if I had taken it to the shop, it would have been about $600. Guys, I didn't have $600 at that time. Nowhere close. We were dead broke. That was the darkest time financially in my life. And I'll never forget it. And to top it off, about a month later, my dad passed away. And it was some hard times, guys. It was some hard times. But at that moment, when my truck broke down and I had no money to get that truck fixed at the time. I was 35 years old. And I told myself back then, it still took me a couple years to really start making some changes in my financial life, because I started getting my child support cut off, got the IRS paid off. But I said, I got to change this. Something needs to change. Guys, I felt less than a man because I could not help my wife provide. And I told her, I couldn't blame her if she left me, because I couldn't contribute. And you know what she told me? She said, you know what? I'm your wife and we're going to get through this together. But we're not going to make these same mistakes in the future. You're not going to make these same mistakes in the future. Guys, we were driving hoopties. We were driving $500 cars. We had debt, credit card debt. And by that time, I had let the cars that we had get repossessed, because when all of this hit me, it all hit at one time. But guys, I felt less than a man. I felt horrible that I put her in that position by mistakes that I had made before I had even met her. See, as men, we take pride in providing, being the breadwinners and things of that nature. There's nothing wrong with a woman making more money than a man, because eventually my wife ended up making more money than me. And that was fine. It was just better for the both of us. But as a man, you want to be able to contribute and provide. So I can understand how mental health would take a toll on individuals. Because when you can't provide, it's hard. It is hard. It is hard on your mind. It's hard on your psyche. But guys, so I can understand people being in debt and having all this debt weighing on you can be mentally taxing, because it is mentally taxing. And the only thing that I'm going to tell you guys that's going to help is doing whatever you can to eliminate your debt. That is the only thing that's going to help you. You have to do whatever you have to do to eliminate your consumer debt. That $400, $500, $600 car payment on that car is a waste of money. That car is going down in value. That $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 worth of credit card debt you have is preventing you from building wealth along with that car. Every dime you spend on debt, you cannot put to work to build assets. So I'm begging every one of you guys, start eliminating your consumer debt. Guys, I never ever want to go back to the place I was in 2007. Those were some dark mental times, all brought on by bad financial decisions. I never want to go back there. Never. And I'm doing everything possible to never again allow myself to have to stress because of finances. I got my act together. So guys, that's my discussion today on how a lack of finances are affecting individuals' mental health in 2024. And the main reason is because of debt. Get out of debt, guys. Getting out of debt is going to help your mental health. So guys, please like this video, share this video, and most importantly, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel, Frank Talks Money. And remember, financial decisions you make today will impact your financial life tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. Frank Talks Money. I'm out.